when I have everything in linear, the nice thing about having that in linear is that halfway through at frame 7, you'll see everything lines up perfectly. This is the passing position. So if you remember the formula, we did the contact pose. Now we're going to do the passing position where everything is balanced, but one leg is up in the air. So this is a great starting point. What I need to do with the feet is just make sure that my foot controls, that nothing is rolling up or down. I just want all the rolls to be, 0, except for that roll limit there. I just want to make sure the foot's flat on the ground. I want to make sure there's no up and down. So I want to make sure if it translate Y, it should be flat on the ground. It's right on the ground plane. And then I need to figure out, well, which foot was in front? So for me, it's the right leg. So that means the left leg should not be on the ground anymore. That leg should be up in the air. And what I'll do is I'm just going to rotate, and then I'm going to go back to world space here, just move it like this, just so it feels a little more balanced, right? So what's happening is this foot is coming up from the back position, it's going forward. Now the hips, they need to go up. This is usually a high point for the hips. And I just want to make sure I lift up the hips, but still have the foot that's on the ground. I don't want it to be completely straight or pulling the geo off the ground. So I kind of look and see where I see the knee just bend and be like, great, there. Now, sometimes you just don't have the sensitivity with your mouse. So what you might want to do is hop in the graph editor and go to the translate Y and just grab that point and just kind of nudge it up and down until you get it just right. You're like, okay, and why isn't that updating? That's weird. There we go. Just until I get that point. And it doesn't want to interactively move. There we go. That's better. Like I mentioned, what we need to do for this position is in the front view, right? It doesn't quite feel balanced. I need to move the body over slightly. I'll just move it a lot so you can see I need to move over so that most of the upper body is underneath the supporting foot. With a rig like this, we've got the big poofy pajama pants. So there's like a lot of issues with crashing, even with the foot. So what you might have to do is just move this foot out to the side, maybe rotate it just to clear, right? I'm not going to worry about crashing at this point. I just want it to roll forward. And I want it to be really clear that the hips are going up, right? The hips have gone up and they've also shifted over. They're now over the supporting leg. And the last thing I have to do with the hip is to get that tilt. So I think that's this control. Nope, not that one. This one. There. So the side of the body that's supported is higher. That's usually where the belt line is up, right? The side that's off the ground is tilted down. So that gives me this going from key to key. Right? From a side view, what we have is the contact, the passing position. Once I have this pose, I'm just going to do a increment and save here. Then I would do the same thing. I would mirror this pose. So this pose, you're going to see 12 frames later. So every time you make a pose, the mirror image is 12 frames later. So I'm just going to copy this pose and then go to 19 and then paste. And look what happens when you paste. You see what happens to the curves? They do all this nonsense, right? So that's what I mentioned where the in-betweens can go a little haywire and weird things happen. Just hit everything with linear. Just now it's all nice and straight and easy to predict. And now I got to mirror everything. I know the feet. So I'm going to say, let's start with the one on the ground. 1, 2, right click, copy, deselect. 2, 1, right click, paste, flip X, -1. There we go. And then the hip tilting, I go here. I look at that. Okay, I got to tilt. What am I using? Oh, Z. Okay. Times equals -1. And I got to go to my main hip control and I have to push it the other way. So X, I got to flip that times equals -1 over on that side. Then I look from a front view and I just make sure that everything is working correctly. So I start with my frame 1 contact, passing. I go over that leg, hip tilts down, good. Contact, tilt, and move over on the other side, rocking back and forth.